Tatra, there, on the shore of the ocean of milk, Gatva, after going, Jagannatham, onto the master of the entire universe, the Supreme Being, Devadevam, the Supreme God of all gods, Vrishakapim, the Supreme Person, Vishnu, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's suffering, Purusham, the Supreme Person, Purusha Suktena, with the Vedic mantra known as Purusha Sukta, Upataste, worshipped, Samahitaha, with full attention. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Shri Bhai Charanarvinda, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. After reaching the shore of the ocean of milk, the demigods worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the Master of the whole universe, the Supreme God of all gods, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's suffering. With great attention, they worshipped Lord Vishnu, who lives on the ocean of milk, by reciting the Vedic mantras known as the Purusha Sukta. Can you repeat the translation? After reaching the shore of the ocean of milk, the demigods worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the Master of the whole universe, the Supreme God of all gods, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's suffering. With great attention, they worshipped Lord Vishnu, who lies on the ocean of milk, by reciting the Vedic mantras known as the Purusha Sukta. Purport. The demigods such as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, King Indra, Chandra, and Surya are all subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aside from the demigods, even in human society, there are many influential personalities supervising various businesses or establishments. Lord Vishnu, however, is the God of gods, Parameshwara. He is Paramapurusha, the Supreme Being, Paramatma, as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 5.1. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. No one is equal to or greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he is described here by many words: Jagannatha, Devadeva, Vrishakapi, and Purusha. The supremacy of Lord Vishnu is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.12. In this statement by Arjuna, Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. You are the Supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adipurusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna, and all the Vishnu Tattvas are Parameshwara, Devadeva. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport and translation to Canto 10, Chapter 1, Text 20 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे तत्र गत्वा after reaching the shore of the ocean of milk. What did the devatas do? Because we saw that once Mother Earth being overburdened by hundreds and thousands of unnecessary demoniac military strength have become disturbing agents to the peaceful citizens of the world, of the earthly planet. Peaceful citizens refers to the devotees of the Lord, and the disturbing elements refers to the demoniac forces who have increased their numbers across the earthly planet. So, Mother Earth, being responsible for providing a peaceful situation for the devotees to practice Krishna consciousness, to worship Vishnu, when that peaceful worship of the Lord was not being possible, and Mother Earth is not able to set right the situation and correct the demoniac living entities, she approached Lord Brahma for relief. And sometimes it so happens that even the chief living entity in this universe, namely Lord Brahma, even sometimes he is also not able to find a solution and set right the situation, bring back order in this world. Then he approaches Lord Vishnu. So, therefore, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and other devatas, along with Mother Earth, proceeded to Lord Vishnu's abode. So that's what is being described here in this verse. Tatra gatva. So where did they proceed? They proceeded to the shore of the ocean of milk, named as Shvetadvipa, where Lord Vishnu resides. So Shvetadvipa is an island surrounded by an ocean of milk. So they all approached the shore of the ocean of milk, Tatra gatva, and upataste. They worshipped. Whom did they worship? Jagannatham. They worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Jagat Natha. Jagat means this universe. Gachati iti Jagat. So, Natha means the master. So, Jagat Natha is the master of this universe. So, they worship the Supreme Lord, who is the master of the universe, and Deva Devam, who is also qualified as the God of all gods, Lord of lords. Further, Vrishakapim, he is the one. Vrishaka, Vrisha and Kapim. Two words are being used here. Vrisha and Kapim. That means one who provides for all the jivas maintenance in this world, and Kapim refers to one who reduces everyone's suffering. So Vrishakapim means one who provides for everyone's maintenance, and who reduces everyone's suffering. So they worship the Supreme Lord who is Jagannatham, who is Devadevam, who is also Vrishakapim. Further, who is also the Purusha, the Supreme Person. There are many living entities. Among all of them, the Devatas are superior to all the living entities. And among the Devatas, Brahma and Shiva are superior, but Krishna or Vishnu is even superior to Devatas, including Brahma and Shiva. So that is indicated by the word Purusham, who's known as the Supreme Person. So they worship this Supreme Lord who is qualified as Jagannatha, Devadevam, Vrishakapim, and Purusham. They worshipped him. Naturally, a great personality has to be worshipped. That is the proper etiquette. When you approach a worshipable person, respectable person, glorious person, naturally you have to worship him. So the Lord is the supreme worshipable object according to all the Vedas. So the Devatas, headed by Brahma and Shiva, showed their proper respect to Lord Vishnu by worshipping him. Now, how did they worship? Purusham Purusha Suktena, by offering wonderful prayers known as Purusha Sukta. They're actually Vedic mantras glorifying Lord Vishnu. And how did they offer these prayers? Samahitaha, with great attention. Great attention. Not that they're getting distracted, their mind is going here and there. No, with great attention. Samahitaha. Sama, the word sama means actually completeness. Samahitaha means when their minds are completely absorbed in the worship of Vishnu in the form of offering these Vedic mantras known as Purusha Sukta. So this is the way they approach Lord Vishnu and offer their prayers with great attention. Even great personalities like Brahma, Shiva, and other Devatas, including Mother Earth. Actually, you might have observed Srila Prabhupada. Some videos you might have seen Srila Prabhupada when he's doing deity worship, how he was performing Arati. Many of you might have watched when he's performing Abhishek with utmost attention and gravity. Because right in front of us is the Supreme Lord who is Jagannatham, Devadevam, Vrishakapim, Purusham, whom great personalities like Brahma is offering prayers and worship. So, and the supreme worshipable deity. So these things must be dominant in our consciousness in the foreground mind and even in the background mind while we are approaching the Supreme Lord. Similarly, you can also see Srila Prabhupada when he used to offer obeisances with how much devotion and gravity he would offer his respect. And when he is looking at the deities, seeing the deities, how much devotion he is looking at the deities. So we should also try to follow the examples of these great acharyas. When we also come in front of the deities to offer our respects, when we are performing arati, it is a great honor to worship the Supreme Lord. You see, there are so many devatas, 33 crore devatas are there. Brahma is getting the opportunity to offer prayers to the Lord. It is such a great honor. By the grace of the Acharya, like Srila Prabhupada, we are also getting an opportunity to directly worship the Supreme Lord, either as a pujari or even as a participant in the arati. He is also performing arati. The person who is standing, the devotee who is standing in the altar is also offering the worship, and the devotees who are standing in the temple hall and taking part in that arati are also part of that arati ceremony. They're all honored devotees. We should remember one thing. Sometimes we hear in the news that a prime minister has called for a meeting. It's a closed meeting, and there'll be a boardroom, and very select personalities are called for to attend the meeting with the prime minister, and the doors are closed. Imagine what is the honor and privilege. Those persons who are sitting in the boardroom with the prime minister. Very special, right? They feel themselves honored that only they're being called for. You can just imagine in this temple hall, we're all sitting right in front of Krishna, maybe attending some program, Arati, Sankirtan, Katha. How much honored we must feel. Only we are sitting here. How much blessing. Of course, our door is not closed. Our door is open still to invite more people. It is their fortune to come into the uh, house of Lord Krishna. Very special. Lord, earlier it was discussed that so many devatas went, including Lord Shiva. Actually, Lord Shiva is called Mahadeva. He is supposed to be superior than Brahma also. But nonetheless, Brahma is the father of Shiva in a superior position. So even though such great devatas are present, Lord Brahma is representing all of those devatas, and only he alone is offering prayers to Lord Vishnu in the form of Purusha Sukta. That is again another honor to Lord Brahma, that he is allowed to offer prayers to Lord Vishnu when others are just listening. Just a thought. So like that, you can just imagine today we are able to chant the supreme Purusha Sukta mantra, because Purusha Sukta mantra everybody can't chant. You require a qualification to chant Purusha Sukta mantra. Every mantra you require to qualify to chant. But the supreme mantra requires supreme qualification, logically, right? But that supreme mantra is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the supreme form of glorifying Vishnu, Krishna. The supreme mantra. So naturally one may conclude you require supreme qualification. So by Lord Chaitanya's grace, Lord Chaitanya has blessed every jiva to chant this Hare Krishna mantra, even without any qualification. Therefore, Rupa Goswami, having understood this extreme magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya, has glorified Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Numo Mahavadanyaya. Mahavadanyaya. Lord Brahma, when such important devatas are there, still only Lord Brahma is chanting. Here Lord Chaitanya made even an ordinary jiva chant the supreme mantra in the form of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So that is the extreme fortune of the people in Kali Yuga, that we're all qualified to chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And as Brahma offered praise with samahitaha, great attention, similarly we are expected to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra with great attention. The Lord will be certainly pleased. Purusha Sukta is a Vedic mantra glorifying Lord Vishnu. Similarly, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Srila Prabhupada describes is also prayer to Lord Krishna and Lord Krishna's internal energy, Srimati Radharani, and Krishna's immediate expansion, Lord Balaram. It is a prayer. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is a prayer. And what is that prayer? O Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. O Radharani. O Lord Balaram. Of course, it can also refer to Lord Ramachandra, Sri Ramachandra, Lord Parashuram also. There are 3 Ramas in the history of the Lord's Leelas. So it's a appeal, it's a prayer to the Supreme Lord Krishna, Radharani, Lord Balaram. What is the prayer? Please engage me in your service. This is prayer. Srila Prabhupada explains one place. This is prayer. Please give me an opportunity to serve you. Going to the temple and demanding, give me bread, give me money, give me power, give me position. This is not prayer. This is demand. This is not prayer. Prayer means offering oneself onto the lotus feet of the Lord unconditionally. So that is prayer. And it's a great honor that we are getting the opportunity to serve that Supreme Lord, God of gods. Srila Prabhupada tells one nice story in this regard. Once there was one villager, simple man, and he somehow developed a great desire to serve the greatest. So he got to know that there is a village chief, Panchayat head, village chief. So he approached him and expressed his desire. I would like to serve the chief man in this village. So accordingly, I got to know that you are the chief person. If you can kindly accept me into your service, I'll be very, very glad. And I will do all kinds of service to satisfy you. So village chief also considered, he said, no problem. I can accept you as my servant. So he gave him service. So this man became very glad. And from then on, he engaged in the service of this village chief. He was very happy. Some time passed. One day, the governor visited this village. So this village chief immediately ran to the governor and then gave some reports and submitted some details of the development in his village and all these things, and seeking some help and further funds or whatever, permissions to develop the village and all these things. So then this man observed, oh, if he is the chief in the village, why is he going to the doorstep of another person? So he came to understand from others, oh, actually governor is superior to the village chief. So then he requested the village chief, can you take me to the governor and recommend me that I can get some personal service in the governor's office? The village chief said, yes, no problem. Very nice person he was. So then he recommended, and then the governor said, oh, why not? You're welcome. Please come to my office. I will give you some service. So he was very, very happy. Some days passed. Some months passed. Then one day, the king came. And then the governor was rushing to submit some tax reports and all these things. So then he was wondering, oh, if the governor is the supreme, then why is he submitting his tax reports and all these things to the king? Then he came to understand, oh, the king is superior to the governor also. Then he requested the governor, can you kindly take me to the king, and I want to become the king's personal servant. I'm very glad to serve the king. So the governor said, no problem, I'll take you to the king. And the king, also having understood this person's desire, immediately accepted his request and made him his personal servant. And he started doing rendering all kinds of service. And he became very soon the king's favorite servant. One day, this man observed the king suddenly left the kingdom all alone and went to the woods. Woods means forest. So he was watching the king and he was going behind the king. So waiting to see where the king is going and for what he left the kingdom silently, all alone. He went into the woods, into the forest, and then he went into Swamiji's ashram, into an ascetic's ashram. Ascetic means a sage, saintly person. And then the king bowed down to that Swamiji, to that ascetic, saintly person, and offered his respects and sought his blessings. And he was offering, some conversation was going on. By your grace and mercy, my dear sadhu, so the kingdom is flourishing nicely, everything is going nicely. continue to seek your blessings. And the sadhu also blessed him. And he was wonderstruck. Then he approached the king. So, my dear king, I am seeing that you are the supreme in the kingdom, but you're also bowing down to this sadhu. Then the king said, yes, obviously it is by his grace and blessings that I'm in this position and power. So I need his blessings. Then he requested, can you make me a disciple of that Swamiji, of that sadhu? The king said, why not? I will take you to that sadhu next time when I go, and then I will recommend your case. Then he meets the sadhu, and then he expresses his desire. The king also is recommended. Then the sadhu accepted him as a disciple. But the sadhu also told him, actually, I am not the supreme. He indicated to a nearby Krishna temple, and he told, actually, he is the supreme master of all masters. And even I go to worship that supreme Lord. Then the man requested, so can you make me a servant of that supreme Lord, Krishna? Sadhu said, why not? So I will make you become servant of the supreme Lord. And then he took him to the temple, and then he made him come in front of the Lord. And when he came in front of the deity of Krishna, Prabhupada continues this story to tell, there was an indication from the deity directly that he was accepted into the personal service of the Lord. So the moral of the story is, Prabhupada concludes, in this way, the man's desire to serve the greatest person was finally fulfilled by the Supreme Lord. So, it is a great honor to become a servant of the Supreme Lord. Just like Srila Prabhupada, in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, when the Acharya gives the Diksha, first of all, he gives a name of Vishnu or Vishnu's devotee. And ending with Dasa. Dasa means Krishna Dasa, Rama Dasa, like that. Hari Dasa. So it's very special. Dasa means becoming a servant of the Lord. That is a very glorious position. Actually, it is not possible to become the Dasa of the Lord also. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya has revealed the secret of becoming Dasa of the Lord. And what was that? Who is the real Dasa? Lord Chaitanya actually has explained who is the real Dasa of the Lord or the servant of the Lord. So he said, Gopi Bartuhu Padakamalayur Dasa Dasanu Dasaha. One who accepts himself as being the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant 100 times down the line, or the servant of the husband of gopis, means Krishna. Such a person is a real servant of the Lord. But one who thinks that he is a servant of Krishna directly is never a servant of the Lord. So one should learn to serve the Vaishnavas and become servant of the Vaishnavas. Jai Krishna Prabhupada. Even there is one reference elsewhere. Krishna also says that one who says that I am servant of the Lord is actually not my servant. But one who says that I am a servant of my servant, of my servant, of my servant, 100,000, 10,000, as much down, that much Krishna is very much ready to accept such a kind of servant with such kind of attitude. Such kind of attitude. Sometimes being a servant of the Lord also, we actually become master and try to command things, which is contradictory to the position of being a servant. The position of master is to command or demand. The position of servant is to offer services. That's all. How can the servant command? How can the servant demand? It's the position of the master. But sometimes even as servant, we command, we demand. That means actually we have not understood the position of being a servant. So, anyway, therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, we have to learn to serve the devotees of the Lord. Narottam Das Thakur also says, you have no place at the lotus feet of Krishna if you have not learned to serve Vaishnavas. In fact, Narottam Das flatly says there's no possibility of liberation without serving Vaishnavas. Lot of question. Totally forget it. Now, coming back to this verse, Prabhupada explains that how all the demigods, including Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Surya, are all subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. As explained and concluded. It's not meant for debate or meant for decision. It's concluded already. That Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. Concluded. So we accepting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is based on Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. It is not whimsical or some speculation or some imagination or some sentiment. No. Krishna is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead based on Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Just like in a court of law, there may be two lawyers arguing on a particular case. They can present all their points and arguments. But from the common book of law as accepted by the court, you cannot bring a book of law called Katvanga Purana from your house. You heard Katvanga Purana? Maybe next time I'll tell that story. So there is one law book called Katvanga Purana. But that is not accepted in the court of law. So the accepted book is called the Indian Penal Code, IPC. So you have to refer the standard codes of law. You may be differing from the other lawyer. That is accepted. But it must be, your strength of argument must be from the IPC section only. Then it will be accepted. Finally left up to the judge to pass his judgment. That apart, you can argue, but from the IPC only. Similarly, in the bygone days, when people were actually intelligent and very sober and learned, even though there may be two scholars arguing, they will argue all from Shastra only. Not by speculation, not by imagination, not by whims and fancies. No. They will argue from the Shastra. And all those Shastras are compiled by Vedavyas. So Vedavyasa's Vedic knowledge only is the basis of arguing both ways. Just like from the beginning of creation, there have always been personalists and impersonalists. Always. Nirakaravadis, those who say ultimately the Supreme Lord is impersonal. Nirakara Brahman. There are other kind of spiritualists who always had been claiming, no, ultimately, in the ultimate issue, the Supreme Lord is a person, Purusha. You may also say, no. Purusha is there, but beyond the Purusha, there is a Nirakara Shakti. Both will argue from the texts of Vyasadev's works only. This also should be noted. No problem, can be accepted. There is just like it's called admitting the case. Just like in the court of law, they give an opportunity whether to admit the case or not. So this is admitted, no problem. Then one may wonder, then why, Prabhu, you are arguing so much on the personality, personal form of God? So Krishna himself has brought up this point in the Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter, and Krishna gives his conclusion also about personalism and impersonalism. Very interesting to note this. Arjuna brings this question on our behalf. You see, 12th chapter, first verse. Arjuna says, Arjuna vacha, evam satata yuktaye bhaktas tvam paryupasate ye chapi aksharam avyaktaha tesham ke yoga vittama. Arjuna inquired from Krishna, which is considered to be more perfect? Those who are engaged in your devotional service directly, worshipping your personal form as Krishna, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? Who is considered more perfect? Immediately Krishna answers in the next verse. 12th chapter, 2nd verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. This is Krishna's verdict. It's not ISKCON's version, as many people always uh, keep quoting. Oh, ISKCON people's version. No. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Vyasdev is writing here. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Maya aveshya mano yemam nitya yukta upasate. Shraddhaya paryopetas teme yukta tama mataha. The blessed Lord said, he whose mind is fixed on my personal form. Aveshya manaha yemam. Whose mind is fixed on my mam, personal form. And nitya yukta upasate. Always engaged in worshipping me. Nityaha. Always engaged in worshipping my personal form. Vigraha. Shraddhaya parayopeta. And with great transcendental faith. Shraddhaya paraya. Para Shraddha. Transcendental faith. Teme, I consider, mataha, my opinion, Krishna is saying, my opinion. Can anyone overrule Krishna's opinion? Yuktatama. This is my supreme opinion. He is considered to be most perfect. So what is that? One who accepts the absolute truth ultimately as the supreme being, supreme personality, Krishna, is most perfect in understanding and more advanced in transcendental understanding of the nature of absolute truth. The same thing Sutta Goswami also has spoken, but there's a big debate among thousands of learned, sober scholars and even sages, beyond scholars, sages. Lot of debate and discussion, but Sutta Goswami, who is the judge of all the learned sages, he concluded, Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. See, everywhere the word tattva is used. That means these sages are interested in knowing the truth. Not imagination, not speculation, not some feeling which I get. It's not by feeling, sentiment, imagination. No. Tattvaha. Tattva Vedaha, the word is used, Tattva Vedaha, those who are seers of the truth. They have concluded, not those who are students, not those who are even theoretical students. Krishna describes in the 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verse 29. You can go to the details in the purport. First of all, there are ignorant people. Above them, there are people who are learned. You may be learned but theoretical. You may be learned but not be able to clarify others' doubts. If you're able to clarify others' doubts, you are more superior. Even more superior than them is those who are realized. Than just being able to clarify doubts. They have actually realized it. Above them are those who have realized their self and the Supreme Lord. From them, we should gain Vedic knowledge. So these things are discussed there. So, Tattva Vidaha means seers of the truth. They have concluded Bhagavan is the ultimate aspect of realizing the Supreme Lord. Bhagavan means the personality of Godhead. And to the few quick references and I will close. Now let's refer even from the Vedas, because this is another argument always. People say, oh, you are referring always to the Puranas. We don't value Puranas. Okay, let's take the Vedas directly and see the references where Krishna is being proclaimed as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Atharva Veda, it is described, Yo Brahmanam Vedadati Purvam Yo Vai Vedamsha Gapayati Sma Krishnaha. This is in the Vedas, direct Vedas. In the Atharva Veda, it was Krishna who in the beginning instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge and who disseminated Vedic knowledge in the past. The Narayana Upanishad, it is said, Atha Purusho Havai Narayano Kamayata Praja Sijayeti. Prabhupada quotes. Then the Supreme Personality Narayana desired to create living entities. Narayana Brahma Jayate, Narayana Prajapati Prajayate, Narayana Indro Jayate, Narayana Astau Vasavo Jayante, Narayana Ekadasha Rudra Jayante, Narayana Pad Dvadashadityaha. From Narayana comes Brahma. From Narayana, all the patriarchs called the Prajapatis who are increasing the population of the universe. From Narayana comes Indra. From Narayana comes the 8 Vasus. From Narayana comes the 11 Rudras. From Narayana, the 12 Adityas. That Narayana is an expansion of Krishna. Then, where it is said further, in the same Narayana Upanishad, it continues after saying Narayana is the origin of all the personalities. Narayana's origin itself, the same Narayana Upanishad is concluding, Brahmanyo Devaki Putraha. That origin of that Narayana is Devaki Putra. This is from verse number 4 of Narayana Upanishad. Then in Maha Upanishad it is quoted, Eko vai Narayana Asit. Prabhupada quotes this many times. Eko Narayana Asit. Eko vai Narayana Asit. Na Brahma, na Ishana, na po, na Agni, Samau, Neme, Dyav, Aprithvi, na Nakshatrani, na Suryaha. You see, what does this say? In the beginning of creation, there was only Eka Narayana Asit. Only Narayana existed before the creation. Na Brahma, Brahma was not there. Na Isha, Shiva was not there. Na Agni, Agni was not there. Prithvi, the earth was not there. Nakshatrani, the stars were not there. Surya, even sun was not there. Only Narayana existed. This was from Maha Upanishad. So like this, actually there are unlimited references even from the Vedas, Vedic literatures. So based on the Shastra Pramana, Guru and Sadhu Pramana, we are accepting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada also quotes here, Ishvara Parama Krishna. Lord Brahma also is accepted. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Brahma has quoted this verse. Sachidananda Vigraha, Sarva Karana Karanam. Ishvara Parama is Krishna. Parameshwara is Krishna. Krishna also talks about the Bhagavatam, 10th chapter. If I'm right, it's text number 2 or text number 3. Krishna directly says, Deva Deva Jagatpate, I am the God of gods. Krishna is saying that in the 10th chapter. So, Aham Adirhi Devanam, the second verse of the 10th chapter. Aham Adirhi Devanam, Krishna is saying, I am the origin of all the Devatas. So like that, Krishna is saying, Shastra is saying, Sadhu like Brahma is saying, Guru Sadhu Shastra. Conclusion is Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Arjuna is saying Param Brahma, Param Dhamma. Prabhupada quotes that in today's purport. So from all these angles, it is not a fanatic sentiment conclusion, rather a bona fide conclusion from all the Shastras. So that Krishna should be worshipped with great attention in the form of prayers like Purusha Sukta. But Purusha Sukta cannot be chanted by all. Therefore, by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada, we are able to chant the same Purusha Sukta currently available in the form of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Let's stop here. Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.